The president's now saying that Russia didn't want him to be the president, saying they would have been better off with Hillary Clinton. Watch him. This is nonsense.
I hope we really get along well with them, but they would have been a lot better off with Hillary Clinton as president. Russia, if they were at all for me, and by the way, if you look at all of the things, they were sort of for and against both, not just one way. But you look at all of the different things, Russia would much rather have Hillary than Donald Trump. I can tell you that right now.
Well, that hot dogging in the end zone, which I think is illegal in the NFL right now, the complete hot dog he's pulling there is nonsense. Trump's claim contradicts U.S. intelligence, which showed that Russia had a clear preference for Trump in the campaign. Putin also said himself last spring that he wanted Trump. Putin did, not Clinton. Let's watch Vladimir.
President Putin, did you want President Trump to win the election, and did you direct any of your officials to help him do that?
Да, я хотел, чтобы он выиграл. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because he talked about bringing the U.S.-Russia relationship back to normal.
Well, that's embarrassing. Let me go to Joyce on this question. There's a couple of patterns here that are mob-like. First of all, the president throughout the campaign saying that anybody who told the truth was a rat. I mean, he sounds like an old gangster movie from the 20s. I mean, a president would be interested, I would think, at least theoretically, in the truth being told. Here, if you tell the truth, you're a rat, a dirty rat, like James Cagney. You're a dirty rat. He talks like that. And today, just before our program, Ari Melber had a guest that came on and said, looks like Roger Stone's going to get a pardon. So pardons and calling people rats, if that's not public intimidation to interrupt the law, to abuse, an act to obstruct justice, I don't know what it is. And it keeps going on and on, and especially this lying about Putin again. It is a lie.
You know, this is the man who's in charge of the federal justice system. He's in charge of federal law enforcement. And he takes the most animus stance towards law enforcement. He's against flipping, what he calls flipping. He's against what he calls rats. Those are legitimate law enforcement tools. That's the way law enforcement gets to the truth and engages in accountability for people who have violated criminal laws. And here we have the president who's so familiar and so comfortable with the language of criminals and has so much difficulty with the language of the rule of law and the search for truth that law enforcement engages in every day under his direction.
Well, Vladimir Putin was closer to the truth than Trump is. He said he was rooting for Trump, and it was obvious they were playing ball together to anyone who's paid attention. Thank you so much, Joyce Vance, again and again. Thank you, Tim O'Brien, for your expertise on this guy we're talking about, the president, and Phil Rucker, a great reporter for the Washington Post.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.